Good evening. How are we all? Thank you for joining me. I am back with another live stream of some heavy metal cover video game stuff. And again, yeah, just going to try and make this like a more regular thing, like a once a week thing, a once a Sunday night thing. Might be quite cool. Last week it was Star Fox, and that ended up coming out all right, I guess, in the end. So yeah, this week I'm going to cover some Pokemon, classic Pokemon Red, Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Yellow music. Viridian Forest, it was playing in the intro just there. And yeah, let's see how it goes. This one might be a bit weird. There's some weird moments in it, and it might work and it might not. But yeah, so here it is. That's another weird bit. So it's going to have some kind of strange vibes to it, I think. But you know, it's Halloween; it's a bit spooky. So yeah, I think it could be. I think it could be all right. So yeah, that's the vibe of it. I think that's all we need at the moment. Yeah, so let me just check a few things, make sure we're all good to go. I'm going to try lowering this this block size, this buffer size sample thing, just while I record drums, because you get a very slight delay if you record anything higher than that. So by lowering it, you reduce the delay. However, you risk this kind of horrible crackling sound, but I did find that turning off a lot of my effects while I do that seemed to fix that somewhat. So at least while I record drums, I'm going to lower the buffer rate, and it should mean that, with any luck, that kind of sounds alright, and it's not crackling and not peaking. So a little bit of camera trickery. You should be able to see a messy desk, but more importantly, so I think for this it's pretty clear cut. What I want the drums to do is really kind of keeping that groove locked down. There's definitely some potential for it to go half time as well. Lots of that stuff. But as per usual, I am going to just start this off by recording some drums. Keep it nice and simple. Make sure I got my levels right. Cool. So yeah, here we go. Let's see what happens. don't know why that stopped. However, most of what I recorded there seemed to work. I thought I'd do something nice and tidy, and I'd hide. I've actually got another channel here playing this music, which is why it's synced up. I thought I'd hide it to make it nice and neat and tidy, but I've obviously gone wrong somewhere. I now need to remember how I got rid of it and how I can get it back. Track manager? Yes. Okay. Well, how long is that actually? 1 minute 12. Yeah, no, I definitely want that to be longer. But for the most part, for the moment, I think that's a good amount to work with. So yeah, I'm just going to quickly tidy these drums up, I guess. So yeah, normal kind of routine here. Tidy the drums up. Kind of move them roughly to the right place. Quantize the whole lot to straight 16th notes to begin with. That should kind of catch everything. Again, you're going to get bits like this. These quick, those quick fills are, what are they? 16th note triplets, I guess, which is why whenever you quantize and do it to straight 16ths, you're going to have to go back and fix these bits, but that should now sound alright. Want those to flam a little bit. The chuck a bass drum in there. Another one there. And I want that flam to be a little bit more. Another one of these triplet 16th fills. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That sounded better in my head. If I just double both of those up. Nearly. Whoa, okay, got some weird stuff going on there. So yeah, this bit with this weird rhythm that comes in. You get this kind of crossover. You've gone from a very straight to having this kind of polyrhythm come in there as well. So I thought I'd reference that by just busying up the bass drums a little bit. I'm going to fix that now because I know exactly what that is. That's the classic fill I use all the time. And I quite like the fact that so I'm gonna accent these little bits. So predominantly the start of that section with these cymbals, and here it seems like all the notes hit once at that point. So again, I'm just gonna like reference that, emphasize that hit with a shiner. Yeah, it's another one of those. I do use that fill a lot. I like it, but it's one of those things. It's just like a reflex whenever I'm recording. That's just the go-to fill. Does the job, I guess. Something else needs to go on there, really. Well, if I put a flammed snare drum there, and then maybe have like a kind of upbeat. Okay, so quite like all of that so far. This bit, I'm just going to mute the original. No, sorry, I'm going to mute the drums for a second. So the drums in this track do something kind of odd here. So you get this dum, tss, tu, ka, boom, tss, ka, ka. And again. So it's kind of odd, and it's something that you just don't notice, but I'm going to reference it because, you know, it's all about those cheeky little references. So I'm not going to completely copy it because I think it might be a bit odd just having big gaps in the snare drum. So I'm going to basically just add a snare in there and maybe make both of these open hi-hats and just see what that sounds like. And I'm going to get rid of that and just try and really hammer home that bum 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 bum, because hopefully with the guitars at this point it's going to be really choppy and really focusing on those quarter notes. Okay, at the moment that just sounds a bit kind of like blah blah blah. So I'm going to give it a little bit of flavour, I guess. I'm going to add a little bit of variation in there. So a really light bass drum in here, and that actually might be all it needs to get rid of that. And then again, just because these are the two that I want to focus on, I don't want another big crash here, so I'm just going to go back to that closed hi-hat. Again, copy the rhythm I had before. I might actually just do exactly the same. Oh no, I had some other fill going on here, so these are meant to be flams. But again, I want this. No, do you know what? I'm actually just going to literally copy and paste everything from before. And I will have a crash. Where are we? I'm going to keep that crash there because it's kind of the start of a new section with that. Boom. And again, I quite like the drums busying up a little bit more here as well. But again, I think this quick, quiet kick drum into that. Oh no, wait, that's the wrong bit. It's this bit, the quiet kick drum. Into the snare drum. And again, we've got this blamp, blamp. I might make these toms. I've been using a lot of snare flams recently, so let's just mix that up a little bit. Let's fix this triplet 16th fill. So what I'm doing every time I do this quickly highlight thing, I'm just highlighting these three notes here, which are the 16th triplet notes that I want to get the really fast hits. And I'm pressing Q and I'm opening up the quantize events menu. So all this will affect is the notes that I've highlighted. 16th note triplets, okay, and they look right, and I know that they're landing in the right place. Oof. So those flams are a little bit too kind of wonky. I want to go in there and just tighten those up a little bit. And I'm going to get rid of that kick just to leave a nice kind of jump from here to really hammer home that like heavy first hit of that first beat of that bar. So this bit feels like all the notes, all the instruments and everything's coming together. Bum 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 bum. And I think around about this point I had that in my head of doing a 4 to the floor kick drum. I think that works really well, so I'm just gonna make sure that that's what I'm doing the whole time. Oops. Not sure about this fill. Well, I know it's going to be the but use that a bit too much. I need to rein it back in. Maybe all it needs is just, yeah, that's cool. And I'm gonna put it back on the snare drum. Cool, yeah, I kind of like that. That's just needs tidying up, but just keep that momentum going there. So you've got this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tidy this up to make it the triplet E 16th note fill. But I'm going to try something slightly different. I'm going to put that on the snare drum. The proper Mike Portnoy drum fill, that one. Don't want to overuse that China too much. That would be a bit tricky to play on a kit going between the hi-hat and the crash cymbal. It sounds a little bit awkward, so I'm going to switch that around so you can land on the crash at the start of the bar. I'm just going to go through and tidy the rest of this up. So how long have I got to go until this actually does loop around again? So that's where it loops. Don't know what's going on with the there's a jump. Dodgy me stealing this off YouTube to work to. So really, I'm just gonna basically just take this from the start. Oops. And just make it loop so it hits that bar. I don't know why that copied onto the bass track. There'll be a little annoying kind of jump here, but this really doesn't matter by this point. This is just the drums. Yeah, whatever, fine. So that's where it repeats. So I've got this much more drums to do, so I'm just going to pick this up. Okay. So it jumps straight into that do do boom ba dum. Okay. That was all pretty crap, and I also realised that you can't see what I'm doing. So I'm going to try that again. Wasn't even nearly ready then. Cool. Save, just because I've done quite a bit already. Do my standard kind of move everything in the right place. Quantize it to 16th note straight to begin with. And then just carry on from where I left off. So I'm actually going to glue these two sections together. Just so I can see everything in one go. So this is where I got that to. Fix this. would say is the drums for now, or at least for me to work to, done. Okay, cool. So there we go, drums done. So I guess let's just move on to rhythm guitars. So I think for the most part, this rhythm guitar part is going to be quite kind of... Oh yeah. It's going to be this riff. So... Okay. I'm gonna turn... So you start to hear that crackling come back in. So that low part. Be any more complicated than that, and I think what's going to be cool is once that's just pedaling, sticking on that same riff and having the chords moving around should sound quite cool. So I'm just going to go for that. Actually, you know what, I've actually bypassed this. So what I've done here is I've just turned off stuff on the master guitar channel, which is basically a compressor and a spreader thing. It kind of moves, you know, means that it sits in the mix a little better. But taking out that EQ, I'm tempted to change up what's in this EQ. So if I turn this back on, because all of a sudden you get this now mixing and stuff like that, it's good to leave a lot of bottom end for the bass. But I think I might just introduce a little bit more low end into this. Just playing without it just made me miss it a little bit, so oh, right, hang on. I think that's all it needs. Right. So, let's just give this a go, shall we? that was a major, just kind of, I don't know, making lots of mistakes, but just getting an idea, like feeling my way through that whole track. And I think within that mass recording, there's some good stuff in there. So for the most part, it's trying to figure out this main riff in its simple kind of essences. Which is fine, but it's a little bit kind of stale, a little bit cardboardy. It would be good to add a bit of flair to that, which is why I was trying to give it a bit more. Just out of interest, I'm just going to quickly try taking this compressor out of this scenario, see what happens. Oops. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna get rid of everything I've just done. Oops, that was the wrong thing to get rid of. That's why I hit it in the first place. Fuck yeah, I'm gonna go back and hide that. Cool. So, gonna get rid of all of that. And I'm just gonna lock down that main riff to begin with. Way out of time. Still undecided on that riff. Not sure if I work every single time. I think making it choppier might help a little bit. Quite like those chords. Yeah, I'm gonna give it another go. Again, it just needs a few more run-throughs, but that'd be fine if it wasn't out of time. So again, I'm going to do the whole thing again, but I'm going to just quickly do this bit first because I think I've got a good idea of what that's going to sound like. Cool, that's what I want. I'm going to double track that while I'm there, just so I don't forget it. Cool, done. Right, so let's lock down this main riff and move on. need to just really try and make it uniform as possible. Damn it. I think I'm happy with that. Hang on a second. Yeah. So I'm going to have to do this lame thing of, because I'm working with a higher sample buffer size, it's kind of meaning that I'm playing out of time. It's honestly not my bad timekeeping. I'll blame it on the software any day. But it does tend to mean that I just need to move things forward a little bit. But actually that first bit I think sounded a little bit out of time. What I've done there is I've just shifted it forward. I'm going to redo the first couple of bars, and I'm then just going to tidy this up and make sure it all kind of makes sense. And I also think, oops. Okay, no. Cool, so right, so that's what I want. Keeping that bit there, keeping that bit there, getting rid of that. Again, I think this just needs to, oops. I need to just bring this along a tiny bit. Bring that into there. Okay. Alright, that's cool. That's what I want. So I'm just going to go for a full take on this second track, double track it up, and then we can move on. Right. Keeping that. Let's just make sure that this starts at the right place. Again, do my annoying trick of get rid of the start there. Just make sure that it comes in roughly like there. Shift things along a little bit just so they match that top take. And then go back over here, and whatever the remainder is, we kind of just drag that out, and you end up with that. So that should sort of work now, I think. I'm sorry if I'm going to mispronounce your name, buddy. Kame Senin, thank you very much for joining me. Okay, I'm just going to quickly see how these guitars sound. it. I'm really happy with that. That's sounding good. What am I doing now? There's a whole gap of not a lot going on in the low end now. So usually what I try and do with these tracks is I go through the whole rhythm section first. Rhythm section? What am I talking about? Rhythm guitar parts first. Get the riffs down. And then once they're done, I'll go back through and do the lead guitar parts. But I think this track, it's a very much... it's almost kind of, there's more going on in the lead parts than there is in the rhythm. So what I'm going to try and do is maybe do them both at the same time. I don't know what this track is. I think I might have accidentally introduced that. No, is that right? Hang on a second. Yeah, there ain't nothing going on there. I don't know what's going on. Right, that's gone. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go back to the start and I'm going to add some lead guitars. Oh, I should probably actually pay attention to what's going on with the actual notes, but no, I need to think about how I want to do this, because there's a lot of time with Pokemon music. You've got a main melody and then some riffs going on in the middle, at the bottom, sorry, and then in the middle you've got some weird kind of counter melody stuff going on. So I need to try and figure out how to do this. I quite like. I think that works really well. I just need to figure out what the next notes are there, so I'm going to mute the guitar parts for now. I think it's just a pretty savage couple of notes there. It's like some Meshuggah thing. So maybe I'll separate these out. Yeah, single notes works throughout that, I think. So I'm going to give that a go and just play along with the original track, no guitars. Oops. Would help if I wasn't about to record over what I've just done. It's always helpful. That'll do for a take. English is not so good, but you understand the music. That's the important thing. That's what we're going for here. I'm afraid I don't speak anything other than English. I'm afraid to say, but I do understand music, and I hope that you understand music. And I'm glad we can connect on that level at least. So the lead guitar part there, I'm quite happy with that. I'm going to just budge it along. I'm gonna get a piano in, just so I can kind of it just helps me to sort of figure out the different parts. So I think, oops. that's definitely the note I want underneath there. I think that's what's happening. I can't be sure. I'll just check. Okay, so it actually sounds like there isn't an interval underneath that. But there certainly is underneath the... So, right, I'm just going to double up the lead part, put a harmony bit in there as well. Too many things going on here. What am I doing? Don't need to mute that, don't need to mute that. Okay. Right, yeah, got it. Let's see how this goes. So in those gaps, let's just, oops. Oh, god damn it. Why is that? Sorry, having a little brain fart there. So, right, in these gaps, on the same channel, I am gonna so what we have there is, I'll get it. So very odd choice of notes. That's what I'm going to do. Let's give this a try. Cool, that's what we like. Shouldn't have recorded that piano, but glad that I recorded that. It's exactly oh god, exactly the same thing here. So I'm just going to be cheeky and copy and paste it. Cool. So now the rhythm, sorry, the third lead guitar part, I am going to. I have a couple of options here. I could double up what the lead part is doing. I could double it up an octave lower. I could actually add some distortion to it. Okay, so for the first part I'm going to copy that bit because I think that there's a real big chord shift here. I think it's really important to hit those. So I'm just going to copy that for the first bit and just... I think the key with this track is I'm just going to do it little tiny bits by bit because it's quite a... I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just sort of making this up as I go along. So if I do little bits here and there, it's kind of just like filling in the gaps as I go along. And we will see how it goes. That's the part. Stop recording phantom piano. That's what I want to do. until I repeated it. Nice. So that's actually a decent start for those for the harmony and the lead part. So if I just chop this up, I'm going to save it because you need to save more often than you think. I'll tidy up this stuff later, but for now that's the good chunk of it kind of there. What I'm going to do is mute the original track, unmute the guitars, and just see what we've got so far. Forgot to turn the distortion back on. Let's give it another go. Okay, so I'm generally happy with that. The only thing I want to change is this bit. I think that needs it needs bolstering up. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Beat Bay, thank you for joining me. I'm glad you can enjoy it. I'm from Germany. I don't have to work tomorrow. Now, do you not have to work tomorrow because you're from Germany, or do you just happen to have the day off tomorrow? I mean, either way, that's awesome. I'm glad you're joining me live. I'm glad you can stay up with me. But damn, do you get Mondays off? That's incredible. I'm extremely jealous if that's the case. Either way, I'm jealous. So good on you. Where was I? Yeah. So. Right. I'm going to double up on this bit. And I'm going to do the same here. So I could try it an octave lower, but it might sort of get a bit mixed in with the rhythm guitars there, but... Or just... I think I might just try it in the same register. I'll try both and see what happens. I'm going to try it in the same register first. So yeah, just that I think that part really needed to come out in the mix, and yeah, I could go in and change levels and turn things up and down, but if I can actually just bring a part out by just playing it more, I think that's, I guess, a cooler way to do it. I don't know. I'm just sort of talking nonsense at the moment. So I'm going to try it again here, but I'm going to try playing it one octave lower. And then just see what that sounds like in the mix, and if it works, then it works. If not, then it doesn't. It would help if I played it right. So, the question is, does that work, or does this work? Higher. Does this work? Screw it, they both work. Let's keep them both in. So we've got a high part there and a low part there. Gives it a bit of variation. Bit of an accident, but, you know, cool. Right, so clearly, well, actually, no, I mean, this is the repeat, isn't it? So I've done, I guess, a third. I'd say that's pretty decent going, considering this could have just not worked at all. But I've got a good feeling about it. The next bit is going to be kind of weird. Tell you what, I'm just going to make my life a little easier. and bring back this to the track mixer just so I can see what's going on. Yeah, I think the variation was the way to go with that one. It's really easy to just sort of think, oh, I've done that, I'm going to just do it again and copy and paste it. But I think the more interesting pieces are the ones that just sort of tell a bit more of a story and, you know, like you say, vary a bit. But cool, glad you like it, Beat Bay. Much appreciated. Appreciate the feedback while I'm recording. That's definitely a good thing to have. Right, now it's a case of figuring out what's going on here. So we've got this so there's some weird stuff going on there. Yeah, I agree. It does make it more organic. I totally agree. Less formulaic. You're not doing the same thing over and over again. There's like two or three different things going on there. I need to try and separate them out. So I'm just figuring out what's the best thing to do on the lead part. Okay. What are we doing? Okay. My phone's buzzing like crazy. Bear with me a sec. Okay, all good. I'm very glad you're joining me on the live stream as well, Beat Bay, and do certainly grab a beer. The more beer you drink, the better all of this will sound. So yeah, that's got to be a good shout. Okay. Unarm the piano. Let's just mute. Screw it, I'm just going to mute it for now. Get rid of the rhythm guitars. Chop this bit out. Oops. Chop this bit out. It's fairly straightforward, that bit. So, right, let's give it a go. Alright, that works. Not massively in time. Oh, hang on a second. Okay, I'm gonna chop this out just so I can actually start recording one bar earlier. It's gonna help me like fix things up a little bit. That's better. So now what I can do is I can move this to where it needs to be, which actually yeah, could just do a shimming along a little bit and then chop it there, bring that back out, and actually Okay, cool. So there's other stuff going on. Really, all it is ba-ba-da-da-da. So what I might do in that case is double up that lead part I've just done an octave lower. Yeah. Thanks for joining me, Kamsenin. Thank you for joining me. Sorry for, I'm sure I pronounced your name wrong. But yeah, glad you could join me for a short while. Right. Who or what was the inspiration for making those great game covers? I'll tell you what the inspiration was. The inspiration was Smooth McGroove, the YouTube guy. He does the a cappella versions of video game tracks. I'm a huge fan of his stuff. It's so ridiculously tight, some of the stuff he does. But what I really loved is the fact that he just, for the most part, took the original game tracks and kept all the parts exactly the same and just replaced everything with his voice. And then the layout with all the split screen stuff, it's no kind of coincidence that I've almost pretty much copied what he does. And then putting out weekly videos, just every week you got a new thing. It was the same, you knew what you were getting, you knew it was going to be the same kind of decent track, with, you know, all those intricate parts, and just to see what he did with them and whether he changed them up and that kind of thing. So really a lot of it was Smooth McGroove, and then the metal side of it, I've always been into metal, and I've always been into video game music, and I've for years and years always, you know, done little Super Mario guitar bits and stuff like that. So I guess it's just a combination of metal and video games and Smooth McGroove, if that's helpful. And then the bands that I'm into that inspired me for this stuff, mainly Dream Theater, Metallica, Megadeth, Pantera, lots of that sort of stuff. So there's a big kind of melting pot of all of those things. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Now I've waffled on for a bit. I'm going to try and remember what I was doing. Let's get this back down. There we go. No problem. That should be up there. Yes, it is. So the question is it important to recreate the music exactly as it was composed? Yes, and no, I guess. I mean, for example, this track, right? All of this stuff is exactly as the track is. You've got these rhythm parts here. Oh dear, I've just done something. Oops. That's all exactly in there, but this bit here, this little that isn't in the original. That is me just throwing in a little bit of, well, let's just chuck in a little bit here and there. Same with this bit. That's, you know, the chords are in the original, but that riff and all that stuff isn't. So I guess there are some channels out there that I've seen where they you know, it's a cover of a metal cover of a video game song, and you can hear there's a bit of it in there, but for the most part it's them shredding and playing blast beats and doing sweep picking solos and stuff like that. and that's not my cup of tea at all. I think at that point you've got like a little drop of the original track in there, but you've used it as an excuse to just like show off and play loads of crazy stuff. So I think it's really important to keep as true to the original as possible, but obviously, you know, I want to make it more me as well. Yeah, these parts here. Again, what's going on in the original there is just really all that's happening there is just doo-doom. So it's just that gives me an opportunity to like beef things out a bit without straying too far from the original. Basically, that's the answer to that, I guess. Hope that makes sense. Right, there's one bit in here. Hang on a second, have I got... I just realised I've got everything covered though. Alright, well screw it, I'm going to triple up that part just to give it a bit more welly. Yeah, why the hell not? The last bit was a bit sketchy, but I think that makes sense. Cool. So, now we're on to this weird bit where it's just one lonely melody part. So I'm just going to record that as simple. I don't want to. So this is a classic example, right? There's no way in a million years I would ever play anything different to what's going on there, just because there is just one clear. If I started mucking around with that, going. It would just not make any sense whatsoever. If there's a crazy hectic part in there and there's a really mental part that I just want it, instead of going, you know, I just want to sort of, then that's changing it, but it's not straying too far from the original. So this is just a classic part of copy it note for note, basically. So I'm going to try and blag this. I'm probably going to make a mistake, but let's see what happens. Hey, made a mistake. Let's try it again. Right, so this actually needs to be really precise. It's likely going to be nothing else going on here. So I'm going to mute the drums for this, and I'm just going to try and get these sounding really, really good. Ugh, I said good, not bad. Ah, damn it! Nearly made it. Let's just jump in from there again. Okay, now that bit it opens out a bit, so it goes from the staccato bum 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 to do 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 do. So I'm just going to open that up. Bugger. Oh, I'm changing it up at the last minute. I think it's quite cool to get that, like, wow. Right. Ugh. Ah, bugger. Oh, what am I doing? So this is the part where I just play the same thing over and over again, make the same mistakes over and over again, and everyone gets bored and stops watching. Right, come on. Whoa, 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 whoa. Something's gone horribly wrong there. Okay, let's try it one more time. Damn it, I'm not concentrating. Cool. Do I get inspired by other cover versions on YouTube, or do I try and avoid the influence of other artists? These are some amazing questions, by the way. Thank you very much. Do I get inspired by the cover artists? Yeah, there are a few out there that I quite like. One of the old ones that I used to really get into, and I think actually he might be one of the guys who really inspired me to want to get into this kind of thing, is Artificial Fear. He does a lot of Zelda stuff. I know he does some other stuff. No problem, Beat Babe. You're keeping me mentally engaged here. I'm appreciating it. Yeah, Artificial Fear does a lot of Legend of Zelda metal covers. He was one of the first guys that I properly heard do a really wicked job of it. I'm not sure whether he's still doing stuff now. I know he sort of started doing some other things as well, but he's really cool. Family Jules 7X, I think his name is. I know he's one of the biggest guys who does this at the moment. And I like his stuff. I do like his stuff, but there's something about maybe his production where it's like it's a huge, massive production. I think sometimes it can just be a little bit kind of crazy to listen to, but I think his arrangements are really cool. Who else? I know there's another guy, Richard EB, I think his name is. Oh, Artificial Fear is still around. That's cool. I'm glad to know that. He's wicked. He seems like a very humble sort of just no messing around. Here's just some straight up stuff. And I know he did loads and loads of stuff as well, which is really cool. Richard EB is another one. I'm not really into him, but his stuff is really impressive. It sounds amazing, but I think he's one of the, for me, he goes a bit crazy on some of the stuff. Like a lot of his drums are just manic, and I think maybe, I don't know, it's all preference, but it's not 100% my cup of tea. So there's the loop. Okay, cool. Out of time. Do. Okay, that's not good. Okay, Richard is a little bit shreddy. Yeah, I think that's probably the best way of putting it. He is shreddy. He's really good. Don't get me wrong. It's like probably some of the best production in the whole metal video game thing out there. But it's just kind of, I just want to tone it down, just chill out a little bit. Another guy, I know he's huge. I think his name's E-Rock, E331 Rock or something like that. I can't remember his name. The guy who does blah 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 meets metal with the long black hair. I'm just not a fan of his style of stuff. Like, fair play to him, he's doing his thing, but it's just not for me, that kind of thing. I just think it's he could do with just, I sound so snobbish saying this, and I'm not a rich one to talk, but I just wish his production was a little bit more kind of up there. And I think he's crazy shreddy as well. And I know that's what he does. That's totally fair play to him. But again, it's just not my cup of tea. Oh, I think all of this stuff is great because everyone's got the stuff that they like, and everyone's got stuff that they don't like. And you know, you can be a dick about it and say, "Oh, it's got shit" and whatever. But I'm not into doing that. I don't think that's fair because you know, each to their own. Yeah, well, there you go. I mean, that's it. It is a bit show-offy, but again, it's like that's kind of the point of it, I suppose. And the whole production thing, like, I struggled for years and years trying to get good sounding stuff, and I've put in so many hours getting it to this state, and I know, you know, this could be better, but I think for the most part I'm quite happy with. I tend to find that this stuff's quite clean, even though it's a lot of distortion. Parts don't get swallowed up, you know, drums aren't too loud, and I think a lot of the time people just turn the guitars way up. You know, if you listen to that's a bad example, the drum sound. It's really tricky. It's really, really, really difficult getting a big metal production like that with, you know, 5 guitar parts, soon to be a bass track as well, to sort of fit into the mix. It's not easy at all, but fair play to these guys doing it. You know, they got there first, and they've got their huge followings, and that's awesome. I just hope to be there at some point, you know. But I'm really happy with how my stuff's sounding. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. Right, enough bitching about other guitarists. Let's see what else I can do for this. Okay, so there. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Okay, I'm going to chuck in these harmony parts here. There's just a nice... Ooh, dear me. I don't know what happened there. I think my interface might have disconnected for a second. I'm going to save, because that almost felt like a power cut then. Okay. Let's just jump in here. Don't know where that was going, but that part's in there. I think I want to bring the rhythm guitars back in at this point. Okay, it's really cool. Oh crap. Jesus. I don't know if am I still there? I'm having a few technical things going on here. And I'm getting a thing saying that I've got an error. Hopefully I'm still there. If you can just give us a heads up if I'm actually still streaming or not. I am. Okay, cool. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on. My interface keeps... My audio interface keeps cutting out. Stream stopped for a few seconds. Okay, that's crazy. I think I might have had a power cut. But I am here. Okay, cool. Alright. Let's just... I'll just keep going and hopefully things don't go a bit crazy. Alright, let's see where I am. So I think this is the bit in the drums where it gets kind of heavy. So what I'm going to do is... Oh, I know what I was going to do. So there's a cool chord here. What am I doing? Oof. That doesn't sound right. That's what I wanted to hit. So I think what I need here is just like a massive kind of... Okay, I'm just gonna improvise this bit and see what happens. Really badly played and out of time, but it captured what I wanted it to capture, and I'm going to do that again. Cool, that works, I think. It almost works, but it sounds a little bit like I'm just going. And what I'm trying to get is... Maybe I'll try that instead. Whoa, too far. Okay, I'm gonna turn off this stuff because I think I'm getting a little bit kind of too much stuff going on and it's making my system freak out a little bit. So. Let's try that again. Nearly. Getting there. Apart from one wrong note at the end. Just gonna cut him from that bit. Damn. I'm getting I think I'm getting power drops. I'm really sorry if my stream is bugging out. I'm not really sure what's going on there. The riff at the end is awesome. Do you compose it? Well, thank you very much. And yeah, pretty much. It's with this sort of stuff. I kind of oh, the stream's good. Good to know. Yeah, with this kind of thing, I tend to just sort of hear it in my head a little bit, and I know roughly where I want to go, and then it's just a case of sort of jamming it and kind of improvising a little bit to see what happens. And most of the time, I guess I just sort of get lucky. 2, 3. That riff, if you mean that riff, that's in the track. And that's this riff here. That just works as a metal riff. If I can get a little squeal in there as well. Maybe not. It's a bit too Zakk Wylde. Nothing wrong with Zakk Wylde. Right, I'm going to double track that rhythm part. Cool. So I think I just need to budge these along a little bit to make sure they're in time. You can see things are just falling a little bit early. It's because of the problems I'm having with buffer rates and stuff. It's all kind of not interesting, but okay. Something is definitely going on with my system. I don't think it's a power cut thing. I think it's some dodgy cables. So bear with me a second, and I apologise if things cut out. But the stream is all right. Okay, sorry. I don't know what's happening. It's causing my it's causing this stuff to kind of freak a little bit. But if the stream's all good, then that's the important thing. Right, so well, the stream might be all right, but my software seems to have stopped working, and it's because my interface keeps bugging out. So I'm very sorry about this, but I think I'm going to call it there. It wasn't going to be a particularly long stream this evening. Anyway, this is actually going to take me quite a while. I don't know why things have stopped. I've got some dodgy USB cables there, so yeah, I need to get those replaced. Do you record with the compressor on? Yeah, I generally record with all these, all the effects that I've got going on here. It's probably why my system is lagging out a little bit. All of this stuff basically for all of the channels, it tends to stay on. Sometimes I turn the effects off, like I have done here, just to save on a bit of processing power, just because every now and then you get a little bit crackly. But yeah, for the most part, all that stuff stays on while I record it. I think it's great to have that final mix there while I'm recording, rather than just sort of going through and doing loads of little takes and then putting it together and mixing it. Basically, the mixing is all done already. So so there's downsides to that, which, like I say, it can be a little bit system intensive, but for the most part, it kind of works. Having said that, I think I'm going to call it there. Thank you very much for joining me. Much appreciated. I hope people watching this replay had something to do for and listen to for an hour and a half. Really appreciate you guys tuning in and listening. There will be a new video out this week. I don't know what it is yet, but there will be something out this week. So stay tuned. This Thursday there'll be a new video. With any luck, there'll be another live stream next weekend as well. And yeah, there's going to be some more interesting new kind of videos. I'm not going to... I've been doing metal covers and non-stop metal covers. I'm going to start doing something slightly different. It's still going to be music. It's still going to be video games. But there should be something new coming up soon. And yeah, I'm going to call it there. Thank you very much for joining me. have a good evening, and I will see you soon. Take it easy.